Hey Virgo, this is your April 2024 message for the month ahead. I always like to call in what you need to hear, see, feel, and know so that you actually get what you want, get happy, and enjoy the journey towards getting what it is you want. For those of you who are new, hi, my name is Kelly Lunt. I'm a personal development mentor. So diving right in, Virgo, it looks like this, your soul level lesson. Oh, this is interesting. You got the Hermit card upright and the Star card. They're both major arcana cards. So this is definitely a big month for you of personal growth and development. And it looks like it's that balance between when to close off to yourself versus when to seek connection from someone else. And it looks like you used to derive a lot of satisfaction and a lot of happiness from how independent you were and how little you needed from other people, especially romantic relationships. Um, Guys, that's just flat out a trauma response, I think, from the abandonment wound. It might be the betrayal wound. But when you can cut other people off and just go into isolation and get happy, that's a trauma response. That's not actually a signifier of being independent. Because your relationship there, instead of it being a relationship of connection, your relationship is, I don't need you, but that other person's still there. When you're feeling their inbound energy your way or their desire to connect with you, that is still technically a relationship and you technically being in with them. You're just in one where it's a push away relationship instead of a connecting, seeking connection relationship. But so honestly, your soul level lesson is kind of like to not cave off so much to yourself and not pull back from the other person. And the Star card cross that just indicates for you, it's like, but that's how you used to get happy. That's how you used to get a clear mind. So it's really about like a whole month of you trying to figure out like a new way to get happy while in relationship with someone, a new way to find mental clarity while being in a relationship where you seek connection with the other person. Because you got the Knight of Water upright as like your human level lesson. So the Knight of Water, the cups, the water suit is the suit all about loving relationships and connection. Knight, that's a card of action. It's a card of like I'm almost a full man, right? So it's not a little child who's I want a better relationship. It's not a teenager who's I want to go on a date. It is that like almost adult where it is I do want a relationship better. I'd like to have this conversation with you. Hey, how can we connect better more? It's being willing to take that action to seek connection, because the satisfaction that used to derive from like being alone and being able to be independent, it's not bringing you as much happiness as it used to. So it really is about discovering a new way about how to be happy in relationships. And I can tell you a lot of it is about seeking connection with the person. And all I can say is you're going to try to distract yourself with work and you're going to try to distract yourself with friendships, Virgo. But what you really, really want is a romantic connection. And I hate to be like the blunt one here. It comes down to more about you and your action that you're taking towards the person. Because I definitely feel that there's love. The other person is definitely starting to like give up hope and like fuck it, I can't do anymore, like I've already given this person a lot, and so you're trying to solve the problem by pulling away. You've got to start learning how to like seek connection in a better way. That's the blunt of it, Virgo. Because it looks like what happened in the recent past, your recent past, it certainly feels like you're like, oh, my dreams came true, I'm getting exactly what I wanted. And it does kind of like there's a little bit of a resurgence of like an older relationship coming back around because you got the Judgment card upright for what's going on right now card. And so because of that inbound request, you're happy and you're like, finally, now it's just going to be happy and harmonious. But that's coming from the old you, which is I'm going to hermit and be over here. You need to sort your shit so that we could be happy. And they were like, hey, I would like to be together. And you're like, okay, good. I'm going to pull off so that if they reach out again, it really means that they want me and they're going to accept me just as I am. But like, guys, who wants to be in a relationship where it feels like this? Right? It's going to be like, oh, I want you. Okay, blah. And you're, maybe I don't want this. I don't want to get hit again. I don't want it to be all about you and your needs. Like, right? So you can't hermit. You can't hermit. I don't, that's the best physical description I could like try to give you right now. It's got to be like a, right? Because the other person needs to feel love, not like a, finally you're going to behave and we could be together. That's like punching someone. And look at that. That's like an enmeshment relationship. That's a, I'm going to be the Peter Pan, the little kid, and you're finally going to behave right and like love me as I am and accept me just for who I am. Yes, relationships are about acceptance and loving you just the way you are. But like if your relationship skills are piss poor, then you don't actually want your best friend, your lover, to accept you just as you are. You want them to accept you just as you are, knowing that you can improve and get better and nudging you in the right direction, right? If this is supposed to be your best friend, it should be about you guys continually getting better and being each other's best cheerleader so that it can start to feel like this. Because the other person has to feel love too. Not like a, finally you're going to behave so we can be together. Take me out on the date. Take me out on the date. Take me out on the date. It's got to be a, well, how can we come together? I would love to go on dates with you. What do you need to be happy? Like, what are things that I could do for you that you would that would make you feel loved? Right? Because both people have to feel good and loved. It's not like, because it looks like the 5 of Earth is in your outcome. So it's just it kind of comes from that mindset of that like love is a fixed asset. Love is a fixed asset's not the right word. Love is a fixed, you're either the one giving it or receiving it. And it's like you're trying to make sure that you're on the side of making sure you're receiving it. Like, I'm going to be the adored one. But guys, in terms of this whole masculine, feminine polarity thing that I've heard, the best explanation that I've heard is actually when women are adored and cherished and the men are respected and admired. I know there's so much out there, and I kind of been watching some of the red pill stuff lately where they're like, expect that Orion guy, only one person is adored in the relationship, so men make sure it's you. But guys, I just have to share with you, whenever I've adored a man, it's because I've viewed him as a little boy. And it was always, oh, let me help wash you. Oh, let me make your clothes for you. Oh, your food for you. Oh, let me fold your clothes for you. I viewed him like a little boy, and I took care of him like a little boy. Eventually, I got sick and tired of it, and I left. Whenever I've admired and respected a man, I still had that, oh my God, you're here finally. Yay, you're here. Mwah, 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 I love you. But I respected and admired him. So instead of just doing basic shit and taking care of him, it was respect. It was I like you. I love you. I want you in my life. Like, how can I love you? Like, what do you need from me? Because I respected him and I admired him. So when the woman respects and admires you, you're going to get that, babe, you're home. Yay, love me. But you're not going to be treated like a little boy. You're going to be respected as a man. So that means you got to be willing to cherish and adore her. Oh, babe, I'm so glad I get to come home to you. Because then it is this reciprocal of you both giving each other energy and love and connection, but in a different way, right? Men want to be respected. Women want to be liked. So that means you got to give them love. You got to adore them and cherish them. Be like, oh, babe, just like, let me take you out. Let me open your door for you. Cherish them, adore them a little bit. Let them feel a little princess-like. That's what most females just want. Like, my man's got it. I just got to focus on enjoying. And when that woman's in that enjoyment state and she's like, I respect him. He's the one that made this happen. That's when she's going to be relaxing her body against you softly and be like, babe, this date was so good. Thank you. That's when the man's being respected and admired and the woman's being cherished and adored. If you're going to insist and fight on that, I need to be the adored one, that's when it's going to be like, oh, it's okay, but she's going to be in this like panic, manic state of like, it's okay, baby, I could take us out. I worked, I could pay. I don't want you thinking I want you just for your money. Let me pay. She's going to be all panicked and manic. And like, that's not, eventually that relationship's going to like crash and burn. So I don't know. If you guys got some thoughts on that, feel free to write in the comments. I'm a little curious. It just looks like you're coming from an extreme place of wanting to make sure that you're the adored one and the cherished one, Virgo. And so the other side now, if you're the female listening to this, you can't insist your way into him being more masculine. Just get to a place of I'm feminine and I now want to match with someone who wants to be the masculine with me and be open to a new person. Because it kind of just looks like even though you were finally the relationship I want's coming in, it looks like there's a resurgence of an old relationship. In the near future, there's just going to be a little bit of a disappointment. And it kind of looks like the disappointment is because you're waiting for them to be that like picture perfect person you have in your head. And I really liked when Jordan Peterson said this. He was giving his advice for what advice would I give to young men finding their wives? And he said, I would absolutely tell them to murder the picture perfect image of a woman they have in their head. Like she does not exist. And guys, that's called, if you want a psychology word for that, you can go Google limerent. Limerant. That's a limit relationship. That's a fantasy relationship. That's a love story, not a life story. A love story is that Romeo and Juliet, that they took my breath away. I love them. But love stories always end in tragedy. Instead, you want that life story, that person where there is love, there is playfulness, there is connection, there is affection, but you're able to integrate on a day-to-day basis so that you guys can occupy the same space every day. Like, that's what you actually want when you're emotionally available. In terms of your personal power this month, I'll tell you your personal power, Virgo, but it also looks like you're not going to do it. Your personal power is to actually show the other person more care and affection in the way that they want to be loved. It just really looks like you're coming from this place of insisting and demanding that your needs get met instead of a collaborative. Hey, so like, here's what I like. What do you like as well? How do we find a third option that works for both of us? That's collaborative. That's long-term healthy. Because your personal power is actually to be like, express a little bit more love to the other person in the way that they want to be loved, and recognize that like sometimes you will take actions just for the other person. There is a difference between taking action that requires self-sacrifice versus action that's, I'm not doing this thing because this thing brings me happiness, but I do like that this thing makes that person that happy, and I like how happy they get. Just because you're taking action to make someone else happy doesn't mean it's from a place of self-sacrifice. So I would encourage you to kind of like feel into that and figure out which it is. In terms of outside influences, the other person's like ready to go. They're like page of fire. They're like, yeah, come on, let's have some love. Let's have some love. They're like literally waiting for you, Virgo, to like step up to the plate and to be like an equal partner on the playing field. And like, think of it this way. What's playing catch with someone? One person has to catch, one person has to throw. And then you keep switching roles back and forth. That's a reciprocal relationship. Instead of right now, it's well, I don't like to throw the ball. I only like to catch. So you catch the ball and you go, well, you should be throwing the ball to me. I don't like throwing. You see how that game of catch is going to quickly get boring and toxic? And the other person's there like, okay, I want to throw you the ball. Throw me the ball back. Well, I don't like throwing the ball. That's this. I don't like throwing the ball. You throw the ball to me. It's like, but I want to throw the ball to you, but you've got to help me out, or like make this a little more practical. Like maybe you make more money than the other person. And you're like, no, but I like when I don't have to like give them any money or anything to come see me because I want to feel adored and cherished. And I like that good feeling that they really obviously want to see me. But like if you make 200,000 and the other person makes 20,000, they probably have time on their hands, but not money. You probably have less time on your hands, but you have more money. So do you see how, like, if you're like, all right, I don't want to see you. Here's some money to get here. Let's hang out. That's now a reciprocal relationship. That's a, here's a me, here's a you, here's how we could come together and play together. No, you don't make enough money. Or no, I want the good feeling of what it feels like when someone does all the work and all the money to come see me. Like, just, you got that dynamic going on, Virgo. And like, think about it from the other person's point of view. If they make 20,000 and you make 200,000 and you're like insisting that their disposable income goes towards you, well, guess what? They're now not paying down debt. They're now not saving for their retirement. Also that you can get a little hit of dopamine, of feel good. Why not let it be, wow, they're willing to like take the time and effort to drive to come see me. Yeah, I'm like, here's your gas money. Come hang out. Once you get here, yeah, I'll cover the food. Thank you so much for taking the time to come see me. I do like seeing you weekly. I appreciate you being willing to drive. And the other person's like, oh, they just wanted to see me. They gave me gas money. I don't mind driving. Now you both have good feelings. You're really learning. Well, I hate to say it. I don't think you're going to fully learn the lesson this month. I think you're going to retreat and pull back and go, no, I want to be treated this way. They need to figure it out. You're bringing a lot of conflict to the relationship, Virgo. In terms of your hopes or fears, God, your hopes or fears is that this person's never going to turn into that imaginary ideal person that you have in your head. Guys or girls, you do have to let go of that imaginary relationship and imaginary person in your head. Yes, you get to have what you want and create what you want, but law of attraction is you manifest in the feeling state of what you want, not a, I want a 6 foot tall, 6-figure, 6-pack guy. It's if you had that, how would you feel? I would feel safe. I would feel rest assured. I would feel like I could relax and just love him. I would feel turned on. I would feel attracted to him. Those feeling states is what you actually want to attract in, not the resume that you listed at first. It just looks like it's a disappointment of this person's never going to turn into exactly what I want. In terms of your outcome for the month, it kind of just looks like it's going to be well, they didn't want to throw the ball to me. Your outcome is going to be, I thought they wanted a relationship. I guess they didn't. They didn't want to throw the ball to me. But like, the ball was in your hands. You had to throw the ball back to them. You had to give them some indication that you like them too. Love is not a finite resource, and it's just you either win or you lose. If you're thinking that way, you are not a healthy partner. You are not emotionally available. It's got to be like love going both ways. Otherwise, like, you might get that person for a short time, but it's always going to end, and it's going to be I guess they just didn't love me enough. You got to break that dynamic, Virgo, and recognize that it's, I throw the ball to you. Hey, babe, good morning. Hope you felt good. Caught the ball. Babe, can I make lunch for you? Like, why would they want to take care of you if you're not taking care of them too? It's got to be like reciprocal taking care of each other. You're just taking care of each other in different ways. You're putting too much on the other person, Virgo. Well, I hope that helped. If any of you are looking out there for some serious, extreme personal growth, I have my new mastermind open called Becoming Who You Really Are. If that interests you, just book a sales call down below. You and I will hop on a phone call and we will see if it is the right fit for you if you're ready to become who you really are. Good luck, Virgo.